Hey friends! So today I have a different video because I know I've been doing a lot of thrift hauls, but I also wanted to kind of catch you guys up on some movies that I've been watching recently. I haven't done one of these since the beginning of the year, so I have a lot of movies to talk about and we have a lot to go through today. So this intro is not going to be that long. I'm going to drink some water and then just get right into it. So the first movie I watched is There Will Be Blood. This was also a rewatch. I love PTA so much, and I'll be talking about another movie of his that I watched recently that I didn't really like. But what I love about this movie is it's just special. Like, I feel like the time period is so accurate. I watch a lot of period pieces, and although like I'm not an expert of that time period, I can kind of tell when directors kind of skip out on certain details, or they just like the actors don't talk the way that I would expect them to talk in that time period. Even Daniel Day-Lewis, like his character, I could not get over the fact that he was doing that accent. I was like, that's crazy. Like, that looks like it's him. Like, that is his accent. That is that character's accent. And it's so good. But he just gets it with this one. I mean, it feels like real. It feels dirty. It feels gritty. It's like disgusting, but it's also like in the best way possible, because this movie is about oil. Oil is like sticky and it gets everywhere. And just like the themes of this movie too, I really enjoyed. And this is definitely one of my favorite PTA movies. Just going back to it, yeah, I give it a 5 out of 5. It's definitely like one of the most perfect movies to me. I want to say it's a lighthearted film. I would only watch it if you really love cinema and you love PTA and his storytelling, because this is a wonderful story. The ending is magnificent. 5 out of 5, guys. Watch it if you're a cinephile. Then I watched Fresh, which it did feel refreshing, but I think after the turn of the film, which is like maybe 30 minutes, I think it gets a little bit predictable by the end, and it wasn't very enjoyable at the end either. I love the beginning, I love the setup, and I love the setup of the characters' dynamics, but towards the end I was just like, I feel like anyone could have written this and anyone could have filmed this. So I gave it a 3 out of 5. And then I watched Windfall, which has like a really cute cast in it. Yeah, I didn't think much of it. I remember some things about it because I remember just like feeling like this movie is too long. This movie is way too long. So based off of that, I'm not going to rate it just because I don't remember a lot of things about it and I feel like it's unfair. I just kept it in this review because I just wanted to put it on people's radar just in case it does sound interesting to you. You should search it up. It's called Windfall. It has Lily Collins in it. It was a decent movie. It wasn't anything special. Then I watched a very, very memorable movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I think everyone knows this movie by now, but if you don't, you should definitely watch it. It's definitely worth the hype. The trauma and themes that it goes through, I think, are very relatable for people like me who live with the Asian American experience. Yeah, I just love the themes. I love the dialogue. I loved how it looked, obviously, how it was filmed, how it was directed and everything like that. I thought it was an amazing film, and I rated that one a 5 out of 5 as well. Then I watched Beautiful Boy, and I thought it was fine. There were a lot of scenes that I felt like tried to make me cry, and I feel like since it was so forced in that way, it made me do the opposite, which is like not cringe, but I was just like, I'm not feeling like sad. Like, I just know that this is like a movie and it's fake, and I think it has a lot to do with the acting and the dialogue. I just didn't feel like it was real, and so unfortunately I rated it a 2 out of 5. Then I watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This movie was also fine. It was just entertaining. Idris Elba was probably the best part of it. Just hearing his voice made the movie, and there's like so much talent in this film, but it was like in the wrong film, you know what I mean? So I gave this one a 2 out of 5 as well. Then I watched The Northman, which might be my favorite Robert Eggers film. I'm not sure. I love his brain though. I love Eggers' brain. When he's writing a story and when he's writing scenes, it's kind of the same thing as PTA. I feel like he goes into so much detail and so much depth that it's so accurate and so good, because like same with like a lot of his other movies, like I cannot understand the accent sometimes because it's so realistic. But yeah, I really love this movie. The CGI was really good too. I heard there was like a good amount of CGI as well as practical effects And I don't know if Alex Skarsgård's abs were CGI, but those looked unreal as well. And that's just another reason to watch this movie. And I rated it a 4.5 out of 5. Then I watched The Batman, and I'm always really skeptical about superhero movies, especially when they have such a long runtime. So it took me a long time to muster up the courage to watch this 3-hour epic. And I honestly thought it was okay. I kind of wish I saw it in theaters because I feel like my attention was being pulled away so much because this movie is so dark and so slowly paced that it was kind of like excruciating to get through. I watched it in 2 intervals, so I watched like the first half and then the next day I watched the other half, which is probably a mistake. I don't know. I know a lot of people love this movie, and I feel like if I rewatched it, I would give it a better score. But based off of how I feel and me never probably revisiting this and never wanting to revisit this unless I was like forced to, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 because I do like some aspects of the film. I think it's better than most superhero movies, which I'll be talking about next as well. It was just decent, and I like the detective angle. It was alright. It was alright. Then I watched Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, same thing. Marvel movies are like all the same to me now. And as much as I despise the first one, this one was a little bit better because it was directed by Rob Zombie. And I feel like his style added a lot to this franchise. So I appreciated that. But I don't know, Marvel does this really weird thing. They get directors that have a very specific style and a very specific thing that they do in each of their movies, and they let them express a little bit of that, and then the rest is just like a plain point blank Marvel movie. I rated it a 2 out of 5 because even though I enjoyed it, it was still very grueling to get through because I just don't like superhero movies anymore. Then I watched Bridgerton season 2, and I know a lot of people like this one better than season 1. I agree that the lead actress is a lot better than the one in season 1, but I do not like the brother. I do not like Lord Bridgerton. He's ugly to me. So seeing him with this beautiful woman, mostly like a beautiful woman of color, and he's like this ugly mediocre white man, it just gives me flashbacks of like reality of how so many like beautiful women of color are with such mediocre white men, and it just pisses me off. And so when I was watching it, I was just getting pissed off because it was like literally TikTok to me, because every time I go on TikTok I see these types of couples and it's really disturbing at this point. Not to be mean, I just think he's so mediocre, and the hate to love type of trope, I understand it, I get it, I don't love it. I think he was a little bit way too mean to her at some points, where I was like, get this woman away from this dangerous angry man that has like really bad anger issues. Just getting to a point where I was just like, dude, you guys hate each other. You guys like actually hate each other, and then all of a sudden they're like lusting over each other. So it just didn't feel, not that Bridgerton ever feels realistic, but it just didn't feel natural, I guess. And even if it's not realistic, I would like for it to feel a little bit natural. And then I watched Mamma Mia. This was a rewatch. I just wanted to feel happy again, and it was amazing as always. And I rated that one. I rated Bridgerton a 2 out of 5, sorry. And then I rated Mamma Mia a 5 out of 5. That one, there's nothing wrong with it, guys. It's actually a perfect movie. Then I watched the movie Passing, and this is based off of a story. I actually read this in college, and I love this story so much, so I was really excited to see that it was being adapted. But I just didn't enjoy it. I don't mind slow movies, but I feel like this was so slow that it didn't even have a plot to it, really. Like, if I never read the story, I'd be like, what is this about? What is going on? It didn't have the same themes as the book. I feel like it didn't dig deep as the book intended it to, and it was just disappointing. I liked the performances, but they were a little bit underwhelming as well. I wish this one was a little bit better, and I rated that one a 3 out of 5 because I still enjoyed the original works, the original story, and I still enjoyed the cinematography as well. I thought it was really beautifully shot. Then I watched Jurassic World Dominion. This was awful, but I did watch it in 4DX, so that made it a little bit better. It was a little bit more entertaining, but it was still not the greatest, and I don't know, I just need this franchise to end or like start over and be better, because I don't want Chris Pratt anymore. I don't want him in any other movies. I don't want him like in Hollywood. Like I'm tired of seeing that man. I'm tired of seeing him. I really am. I really am. So I rated that one a 1.5 out of 5. I know, really bad. I didn't like the cameos. I thought they were useless. Jeff Goldblum was whatever. Everyone was whatever. Was not exciting. Then I watched The Umbrella Academy, and this one was also sadly very disappointing. I loved the first 2 seasons. The first 2 seasons were the most amazing things I've ever consumed in my life. And then the 3rd season just fell flat. The characters, they were wacko. They were all over the place. They were not acting as they would. I don't understand why some of the actors or characters did the things that they did, and the writing was just off on this season. I do like the direction that it's going. Like, I love the secret room. I love the ending specifically. I think that'll be really cool to entertain. But I don't know, the main reasons why I love, and probably most other people love, The Umbrella Academy is because of the characters. And I feel like the characters just weren't at their best. And mostly Allison's character, like, they completely butchered Allison's character. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It was really disappointing to me, and I was really sad about it. I would give it like 2.5 out of 5. But then I watched Stranger Things, and I was pleasantly surprised because I've been watching Stranger Things since its conception, but out of like necessity kind of, because I just wanted to talk about it to people, like, because everyone watched Stranger Things, and I was like, I guess I should watch Stranger Things. And I really loved the 1st season. 2nd season was okay. 3rd season was trash. And then these last few ones I thought were really good. I think they redeemed themselves. I liked all the characters again. I liked the storylines of each characters. I thought Mike just needed, like, that whole group, Mike, Justin, Will, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Why are they in California? Other than that, I really enjoyed it, so I would give it like a 4 out of 5, I would say. It was pretty good. And then I watched The Sea Beast. Yes, they had very memorable scenes in there, like the scene of it underwater. Freaked me out, but I don't think I'll be revisiting this anytime soon. I just feel like the story was a little bit generic and kind of predictable, even though it is for kids. I just felt like it was kind of like overdone, and the animation was like okay for the humans, but I really liked the animation for the creatures. I thought they were smooth looking. Some of the designs were really cool, and the story was okay. So I would give it like a 3 out of 5. Then I watched Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, this one was completely disappointing because I really was looking forward to it because I loved Ragnarok so much, like everyone else. I just didn't laugh. I hated the goats. I hated a lot of the scenes. I almost fell asleep in the movie theater watching this, actually. And that's a really bad sign for me, like if I am about to fall asleep. So I gave this a 2 out of 5. Sorry, Taika. I just feel like he got lazy with this one. I feel like he was just like, I don't want to do another Marvel movie, and he was kind of forced to do it, and so he did it, but it didn't turn out good. But on the opposite side, this is one of my favorite movies of the year, and it's Nope. I went into this movie and I was like, this is probably gonna be a banger, but I've been hearing really mixed reviews about it. So I was like, okay, let's go in, let's watch it. And I watched it like maybe 3 times. I don't know, I watched it a bunch of times. It just kept getting better, and I think this one is my favorite of the 3. I like it more than Us and Get Out. If you want to know my ranking, it's Nope, Us, and then Get Out. I know everyone puts Get Out on his pedestal, and I think it deserves to be there, but I just think Us and Nope are a better concept. It's such a rarity that we get like 3 amazing films back to back from a director, so I'm really excited about anything that he comes out with. I really like how he left this one to be more vague than his other films. I got a 5 for me. Probably top 3 films this year for sure. Then I watched Prey. I thought it was pretty good. I'm not a big fan of this franchise, so I wasn't that excited about it, but I thought it was pretty good. I liked the lack of dialogue. I also liked the camera movement. I thought it was like really in action all the time, and I love the Prey versus Predator dynamic and the shifts towards the end. I thought overall it was a good time. I would rate it like a 3.5 out of 5. Then I watched La La Land. I always rewatch La La Land when I'm feeling down, because for some reason it just like makes me passionate again about the arts and movies. Something about Ryan Gosling rambling about the beauty of jazz just gets me pumped about my own life for some reason. 5 out of 5. I love that movie. Then I watched Belle. This is like a cyber retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and they used anime as the medium, which I thought was pretty cool. The animation was really gorgeous. I did like how they modernized it to be kind of like Ready Player One, because I really liked the concept of Ready Player One, but the rest was kind of mediocre. The characters were kind of mediocre, but I'd give this a watch if you have like a young kid that you want to show like more anime to, and anime movies specifically. I would watch this. I think it's a good time, and I rated it like a 3 out of 5. Then I watched Chungking Express, and wow, like every time I watch a Wong Kar-wai film, I'm just transported into thinking like storytelling can be completely different. It can be completely whatever the fuck you want it to be, because this man does not give a shit about structure. Because how are you gonna go from one story and then switch it to another complete different story right in the middle and never return to that first story? His characters just always feel so real to me. Like, I want them to be alive. I want them to be together. I want them to be happy and in love. And yeah, 5 out of 5 for me. I love Wong Kar-wai. I love Chungking Express. To another movie that I didn't like as much is Licorice Pizza, and you know, I love PTA. I know that this movie is controversial because of the characters, and I agree with that because I don't like the age gap. Before watching this movie, I didn't like that Alana was 20 something and Gary was only 15. I think it definitely is grooming on Alana's part, and I didn't like her character at all. I usually like his anti-hero characters as well. He has a lot of characters that just aren't the best people, but you still root for them because, like in Phantom Thread, like both of them are kind of crazy, but you still kind of like them and you like them together because they're kind of crazy. Then I watched Sweeney Todd, and this is my first time watching Sweeney Todd, and I get that it's a musical, but I feel like if you're adapting a musical, you can make it more interesting because they stay in the same goddamn place every single scene. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, and they're repeating the same notions over and over again. Mr. Sweeney invites someone up to get a haircut. He sings a little song. He kills them, dumps their body, and then it switches to Mrs. Lovett baking meat pies in her kitchen. Like, it's just so fucking boring by the end of it. And I really loved the beginning too, and I loved the music in the beginning too, but it just kept getting so repetitive. But yeah, 2 out of 5 for me. I didn't like Sweeney Todd. I'm sorry, Sweeney Todd fans. Then I watched X. This is also like top 5 movies for me this year. I really loved it. I love Pearl and X together, but I love Pearl a little bit more. I'll talk about that in my next video. Yeah, I think this one was so simple and yet so unique and original, and yeah, I love all the characters. I love the dynamics between the two characters, both played by Mia Goth, and I just thought her performance was great. I rated that a 4.5 out of 5. Then I watched Barbarian. That one was a doozy. Also one of my favorite films of the year. It was really funny to me. The horror left like 45 minutes in, and the rest just became a comedy to me. I really loved it. I just think it's so funny and like enjoyable to watch. I know a lot of people, I told a lot of people to watch it and they didn't really like it, so it's not a movie for everyone. And then on the plane ride, I watched After Yang. I thought it was okay. It was kind of slow. It felt like a Black Mirror episode that was extended. I didn't really care about any of the characters other than Yang, and I think that's a problem when like he literally dies in the first 5 minutes, and it's just his memories. I wish there was more Yang. And then I watched Marcel the Shell with shoes on, also on the plane. This was so cute. I did cry for a little mollusk, but yeah, I just thought it was going to be a little bit boring, but it just kept hitting the beats. Like, it just kept going, and it was so funny and it was so cute, and I love the ending so much. I would say it's like a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really cute. Then I watched Hush. I also watched this on the plane, and it was really enjoyable to watch like a suspenseful movie on a plane. I kind of liked it, and I love the protagonist. I thought it was really cool that they used her disability to an advantage. I love by the end of it, he becomes practically the one being hunted down. I was just like, if I wasn't in the movie theater, I'd be clapping. I would rate that one like a 4 out of 5. Then I watched The Midnight Club, also by Mike Flanagan. I thought it was pretty good. I will definitely watch the next season when it comes out. I love the concept. I like the characters, even though some of them are annoying or they do annoying things. I heard a lot of people didn't like it because they don't like the characters at all, but I think you have to realize that these kids are teenagers and they are faced with like a life altering event. Them being annoying by being like selfish or a little bit naive is just like, it's just things that teenagers do, mostly when they're faced with this like life-altering event. So I rated that one a 3.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, but I probably wouldn't rewatch it again. What I would rewatch again is a show called The Bear. This is really good. The hype definitely deserved. Top 10 shows for me of all time, probably. Yeah, I just loved all the characters. I thought it was so good. The setting was so good. I love that the end didn't leave you on a cliffhanger, but it also opened up room for more seasons, which I heard will be happening, so I'm very excited about that. Then I watched Werewolf by Night. And like I said, I'm not a Marvel fan, but I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really different. I wish it was a little bit longer. I love the characters. I love the monsters. It didn't feel like a Marvel movie. I think it's cool that they're not afraid to create something a little bit different and a little bit new instead of just sticking cameo after cameo and calling that exciting. I feel like this one is a little bit more exciting than that. Then I watched The Bad Guys on the plane back. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really cute. I like the voice acting and everything. Solid movie. I think I would give it like a 3, maybe a 3.5 out of 5. Then I watched Scream. This is like my first time watching it, which is really weird, I know, but I enjoyed it. I can see why this is a classic. I liked how it made fun of some films before it while also paying homage to them, kind of. I also like the aspect of two killers because like it kind of humanizes them since they are based off of like serial killers. Just liked how it made them seem kind of stupid and dumb, because they are. Like, you shouldn't be idolizing these villains and murderers and serial killers, because at the end of the day they're dumb. Yeah, so that's all for now. This was a really long video. Hopefully when I edit it, it's not gonna be that long. But I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time for another video. Hopefully it will be with a lot of good movies. I know some of them were not that great, but I hope the next movies I watch are really, really good and I can share that with you. And I'm excited. Thank you. I love you. Bye.